Dear pupils, welcome to Darasa Online. I'm Teacher Frank teaching Civic and Moral Education Standard 4. Civic and Moral Education. Now, my dear pupils of Standard 4, we are still proceeding with our main competence of be responsible. So our main competence is be responsible. Be responsible. Now, within our main competence, we have 5 specific competencies. Within our main competence, be responsible, we have 5 specific competencies. And we have already learned about 3 competencies. The last lessons, we also had a discussion about the 4th specific competencies. The 4th specific competence, which is be self-disciplined. So, for the lesson of today, we are still proceeding with the 4th specific competence, which is be self-disciplined. So, specific competence is be self-disciplined. Be self-disciplined. So if you remember the last lesson, we had a discussion about this specific competence, be self-disciplined. And we started by defining about what is self-discipline. And we said self-discipline is an act of performing a certain task without supervision, or is an ability of a person to do things that should be done accordingly, or to do things in a right way. We also discussed that pupils are the ones who are supposed to show what we call self-discipline when they are at school and also when they are at home. If you remember, we explained about some of the actions which direct show that a pupil has good self-discipline or the pupil has bad self-discipline. And we mentioned some of those actions like wake up early in the morning, that to wake up early in the morning should be one among of the responsibility of a pupil. You wake up early in the morning, prepare yourself for school, but before going to school, you're supposed to perform different small activity when you're at home. But also we discussed about how pupils they're supposed to show good behavior, that to show a good behavior in the society is one among of the actions which show self-discipline. We also discuss about other actions like a pupil who clean the blackboard before teachers start to teach. But also we discuss about the pupil who participate in clean part of the school environment before entering in the classroom. So those are some of the actions which they show that pupils are performing on what we call self-discipline. But if you remember, we also had a discussion about what you call probing different issues. That pupils, they are supposed to search for different issues in order to gain knowledge about what they have already learned in the class. And we discuss about some of the ways which they can be applied by pupils in order to gain knowledge, skills, and ideas about different things found in our countries and world at large. whereby we discuss about those ways like asking questions, to ask questions in areas where you don't understand, but also doing investigations, also to participate in doing experiments, but also discuss about to have an habit of watching and listening to the news in order to know different information concerning our country and the world at large. Those are some of the ways which we can use or we can apply in order to search for different things in the world. But also, we discussed about the advantages of a person or pupil who participate in probing different issues. That one among of the advantages, it helps you to get in deep knowledge about something or about a certain topic. Now today we are proceeding with our specific competence, be responsible, but at the part of set objective for anything you want to do. Set objectives in setting objectives for anything you want to do. Now, setting objective for anything you want to do is a very important issue because every human being has his or her own objectives. Now, in these objectives, sometimes we call them goals. So within this sentence, we are supposed to discuss some of the important issues, like to know about the meaning of goal. What is goals? But within goals, we are going to discuss about the types of goals which are suitable for pupils. We are going also to discuss about things to consider when you want to set a goal, but also the advantages of setting goals and disadvantages of not participating in setting goals. But also, we are going to discuss about what we called how to set a goal. How to set objectives or goal. How to set objectives or goals. Remember, I say every human being has his or her own goals. So even the pupils in the whole process of learning, they are supposed to set their own goals which they are supposed to achieve at the end of their studies. But another thing we are going to discuss about problem-solving skills. Problem-solving skills. So we expect that at the end of this lesson, a pupil to be able to master some of these specific competencies. To master, to know what is the meaning of goal, the type of goal concerning on their level of education, but also how they're supposed to set goals. And another issue is the issue of problem-solving skills, because we know that in the whole process of attaining or achieving a certain goal, you cannot escape from what we call the problems, because in performing different activities, problems are part and parcel in our activity, or are part and parcel in our daily life. So we expect that a pupil to get different ideas on how to solve their own problem. So by starting, let's now look on what is goals. What is goals? Now goals, we said, are something that a person hopes to achieve in the future. Goals are something a person wants to achieve in the future. Goals are something a person wants to achieve in the future. For example, pupils of Standard 4, we know you have some of the goals you want to achieve after the whole process of learning. So it means you want to achieve a certain level of education. For example, you want to study until to reach the high level of education, or you want to pass a certain exam. So those are some of goals which they are supposed to be set by a certain pupil. Now these goals, sometimes they have been categorized into different types. We have what we call person goals. Personal goals. Now these personal goals are those goals which they are supposed to be achieved or are supposed to be attained by an individual. So even pupils, they have their own goals. First of all is what we call educational goals. Educational goals. Educational goals is one among of the important goals to be achieved by a pupil. Every pupil wants to achieve the goal in issue concerning education. For example, you want to learn and to get good results, or you want to learn until to reach a certain level of education. So even a pupil of Standard 4, you should have an habit of setting goals concerning education, that after the end of the certain year, you should get good performance. You can set your goal that I want to pass the Standard 4 examination, the national examination for Standard 4. So that's a goal concerning education. Now we said the main purpose of education is to help a children or to help a pupil to reach his or her potential. So the purpose, we said, the purpose of education is to help a pupils to reach their potential. So a pupil should define what must be learned and how to accomplish the goal and lead to what we call effective learning. So a pupil should define what must be learned and how to accomplish the goal, and build effective learning. So it means for any pupil who participates in education, you should understand what must be learned. To know what are you supposed to learn in a certain level of education. And how were you going to participate in accomplish that goal in order to build what we call effective learning. And later to get good results. Remember, we said the main purpose of education is to help a pupil to reach their potential. Maybe a pupil wants to be a doctor. So through that way, you should know on how you will going to accomplish that goal, that you want to be a doctor. Which kind of subject are you supposed to study? What kind of effort are you supposed to use in order to accomplish your goal? And remember, we said the education is the key for our life. So it means a pupil should use education in order to reach their goals. You want to be a pilot. How measures are you supposed to take? Now, another personal goal can be what's called career goals. Career goals. Now, career goals, we said, are targets that guide our career. Career goals are targets that guide our career. Every pupil has his or her own career goals. This means a pupil can plan that after finishing my university level, I want to be a journalist. So those, we call it a career goal. Things which you want to do after grown up career work. So the career goals, we said, are well-defined statement which explained about the profession an individual want to do when grown up career work. So career work means are well-defined statements which explain about an individual profession. Individual profession he or she want to do when grow up career work. You said you want to be a pilot. Do you think it's the easy task to be a pilot? Or you said you want to be a lawyer. So those are statements which define you are the individual profession you want to do when grown up career. So through that you can plan and take serious measures on how to reach that goal. Now discuss about things to consider before selecting a goal. Things to consider when setting goals. Things to consider when setting goals. Now, before setting goals, the first issue to consider is to choose the goal which inspires you. First one, we said, choose the goal which inspire you. Most of the pupils, they decide to choose God by being forced by some people, or by following what their friends select. So we said, in order for you to choose a goal which will going to be easy achieved by you, is through choose the goal which inspires you. First of all, look at the level of your knowledge, level of your resources and other things. Don't choose the goal which is not inspired you. Maybe you choose the goal through forced by your parents or through encouraged by your friends. So choose the goal which inspires. But second, we said, in choosing the goal, you should have an habit that make you to believe that everything it can be achieved. It means that no negativity. So in choosing the goal, you should develop what you call no negativity. Now, no negativity means that in every goal you select, believe that you can attain it or you can achieve it. Don't say, I cannot achieve this goal. That is bad, because it can lead to you not to achieve that goal. But when you believe and having a positive attitude, at the end of the day, you can achieve any goal without considering about the issue of difficult, about the issue of resources and other things. So in choosing goals, put this in your mind, no negativity. The third is be balanced. Now in be balanced, you should set time, enough time in working on your goals. You want to get good marks in your examination. Set time to revise your notes. So be balanced. Don't say you want to perform in examination, but in another side, you don't set time for individual studies, or you don't set time for group discussion. So be balanced, set the time which you can use to enforce and then make you to reach a certain goal. Track your progress. Track your progress. You should track your progress in terms of maybe daily report or weekly report, that you said you want to perform better in exam. What are the daily reports concerning your goals? Do you work on your goals? You say you want to get good marks. Do you participate in doing homework? Do you participate in individual studies? Or do you participate in group discussions? So these are some of the questions which you're supposed to ask yourself in order to attain your goal. So through tracking your progress, or daily report, or weekly report, it will help you to understand the capacity and how you're going to achieve a certain goal. So after this point, let's now see importance of setting goals. Importance of setting goals. Now for the side of the pupils, the goals, they have different importance or different advantage. Advantage number one is a goal helps a pupil to determine or to measure progress in studies. So number one, goals help pupil to measure progress in studies. Progress in studies. So through what you called track your progress, we're going to measure on how you proceed with the whole process of teaching and learning, or with the whole process of education. It means to know if you have good progress or bad progress. Another thing is, a goal helps a pupil to see his or her mistake. Goal help a pupil to see his or her mistakes. You said you want to be number one in examination, or you want to pass examination. So through what you called track your progress will help you to see some of your mistakes. Maybe you lack some important things in a certain subject, or you get poor performance in a certain subject because of different reasons. So that will help you to see your mistake and apply or use different measures to solve those mistakes. But another thing is, a goal helps a pupil to determine what he or she wants in life. So goals help a pupil to determine what he or she wants in life. So if you want to be a doctor, through setting goals, it can help you to determine what you want. So goals, they are very important in our daily life, especially for the side of the pupils. But also, goals sometimes save time. Goals saves time because you set your goals depending on time. That when it reaches a certain time, I'm supposed to be attain a certain goal. Help in saving the time. So goal help a pupil in save time. But another point is, goal help a pupil to develop what we call the critical thinking. Goal help a pupil to develop critical thinking. So critical thinking means the ability of a person to think clear and rational about what to believe, what to do, and whom to involve in anything. So it means when you want to be a doctor, for example, through critical thinking, it helps you to understand whom to involve in your goal. For example, to take different advice from doctors or to take different advice from teachers. So the goals help a pupil to have critical thinking. But another point is the goal also help a pupil to develop what we call the problem-solving skills on solving different problems concerning the goal which you want to attain. So after this point, let's now move and see some of the disadvantages of not setting goals. Disadvantages of not setting goals. These are advantages. Disadvantages of not setting goals. Disadvantage number one, it means a pupil will fail. Failure to measure your progress. Failure to measure your progress. It will be difficult for you to see or to measure your progress and to know if you have good progress or bad progress because you don't have any goal. Another is failure to see his or her, failure to see your mistake. Failure to see your mistakes. It will be difficult because you don't have an assessment in terms of searching or track your progress. You don't have daily reports or weekly report. So it will be difficult for you to see your mistakes. But also, goals, for those people they don't participate in setting goals, it will be difficult for them to save time. So failure in saving time. Failure to save time. Failure to save time. Another thing is, it will be in this way that a person will concentrate on things which they don't have importance for the side of the pupil. It means you participate on things which they don't bring positive impact to you. Now, after this point, let's now go and see how to set an objective or goal. How to set objectives. Objectives or goals. So in setting objective or goals, you should consider different things. First way, you should identify the aim or the target. Number one, identify the aim or target. It means you should identify the aim of your goal. For example, you want to pass the exams. So what measures are you supposed to use in order to reach that goal? So that is one. Number two, you should have what you call a reading schedule. Having a reading schedule. A reading schedule. Now, a reading schedule is an action which shows intended events or activities which they are performed in terms of time within a day. It means you want to pass your exam. What are your events which you perform in a day? Do you start at? Do you answer some questions? Do you participate in group discussion? So through those activities, it means after the end of the day will help you to reach a certain goal. Another point is you're supposed to have what you call an action plan. Having an action plan. An action plan. Now a plan, we call it, is a step-by-step procedures on doing an activity. A plan is a step-by-step procedures on doing an activity. You say you want to pass the examination. To pass the examination, what are procedures you're supposed to use in order to achieve that goal? First of all, you should know that a plan can be categorized into three types: a short-term plan, medium plan, or long-term plan. So you should plan on those activities that you want to pass an exam after the end of this year, or after 2 years you want to be number one in a certain subject. So those are some of your plan. But within a plan, you should also plan about to prepare your own timetable. So preparing timetable, and not only to prepare the timetable, but also to follow the timetable. Follow the timetable. Another thing is to study hard. Studying hard in order to reach studying hard in order to reach the certain goal. So studying hard in studies or subjects. So that's what we call about an action plan. Problem solving skills. Problem solving skills. Now, we expect that in the whole process of achieving a certain goal, problems or challenges will be there. And you should have what you call the problem solving skills in solving those problems. For example, you are a pupil and you want to finish your education and get a good job. But within that process, there is a different problems which they can face you and lead you not to attain a certain goal. For example, lack of school fees. Lack of some materials. For example, textbook, which will help you in order to attain a certain goal. You say you want to pass the examination, but you don't have enough textbook to read. Lack of basic needs. For example, when you are at home, you are not given clothes, food, and shelter. Those are some of the problems which can hinder you not to reach your goal. So problems means problem is a situation. Which is unsatisfactory and cause difficulties to someone. And cause difficulties to people. Now we have what we call the problem solving skills. Now skill number one, when you face a certain problem, you should identify the problem first. Now problem solving skills number one is identify the problem. Identify the problem. That the problem maybe is lack of basic needs, or the problem is lack of learning facilities. For example, textbooks. Number two, you should manage your feeling. Manage your feeling. Now feeling, these are reactions after a certain problem. When you face the problem, first you should relax and sit down and try to plan on how you will solve the problem. Now, another part or another way, you should plan on how to solve the problem. On how to solve the problem. Plan on how to solve the problem. That maybe the problem is poor performance in examination. So here you're going to plan on ways of solving that problem. For example, to study hard. For example, to have an individual discussion or to participate in group discussion in order to uplift your performance. So these are three ways or important problem-solving skills. Identify your problem, manage your feeling, and plan on how to solve the problem. Now, my dear pupils, after this part, let's now move in the session of questions. We have different questions here. Question number 1, a desire or possible outcome that a person plan and commit to achieve on which it's termed as a plan or a possible outcome that a person plan and commit to achieve or to reach is termed as what we call a goal. Remember, we say goals are something that a person hope to achieve in the future. Question number 2, one among of the following is not an advantage of setting goals in studies. We have different alternative choice here. It's help in measuring progress in studies. This is one among of the advantage. It makes people not to be punctual. This is not an advantage because we said goals will help a pupil to be punctual or to be on time in order to finish a certain goal or to attain a certain goal. So the correct answer here is it's make pupils not to be punctual, because another alternative, it enable people to see his or her mistake, is one among of the advantage of setting goals. Any problem comes on your way in achieving any target you're supposed to. We have report it to the police, try to solve it, run away from the problem. So the correct answer here is try to solve the problem. So when you face any problem, remember, we discuss about those problem-solving skills. You should first identify the problem, manage your feeling, and plan on how to solve the problem. They should give hope and courage that you can achieve anything in life. We have positive attitude, we have negative attitude, and positive attitude. So the correct answer here is positive attitude and not positive attitude. Another question is, we should take time to set our goals to improve performance, planning, or probing. So the correct answer here is we set our own goals in order to improve our performance. So the correct answer of question number 5 is performance. The last question is, this is a situation. Dash is a situation that is unsatisfactory. Dash is a situation that is unsatisfactory and cause difficult for people. We have different alternative choice here: problem, probing, or goal. So the correct answer here is problem, because we said problem are things or situations which are unsatisfactory to someone and cause difficult and sometimes make people to be unhappy. So my dear pupils, now it's marked the end of our lesson. I'm happy to be with you. See you next